How you doing there, guys? Colin Finley here from Banbury Bookmakers and BetPack.com. I'm here with Michael Sheehan from BetPack as well, and Jimmy Finney from Banbury Bookmakers and BetPack. Okay, right lads, so talk about the weekend there. We watched the golf there on Sunday night. It finished quite exciting in the end. It wasn't your typical tournament ending with Dustin Johnson getting thrown out on the 8th hole as 2-shot penalty, and obviously went on to a playoff. Jimmy, what do you reckon will happen at the weekend? Do you think it was fair for Dustin Johnson to get thrown out?
Well, I think it threw up a lot of anomalies in the way top class golf is organised, because this is the second time at this particular event we've had a serious incident. Stuart Appleby lost 4 shots and 9 the last time it was played in Whistling Straits, so I think they do need to revisit some of these issues. I think the big talking point for me about the weekend was the performance of Rory McIlroy. It was truly amazing, his performance, and it shows he's now certainly almost the #1 golf player in the world. And I think it augurs great for golf in these islands over the next few years to have a star of his quality coming through. The other big news is that this is the second major this year won by a European and one in America. So it augurs very, very well for the Ryder Cup, and I'm really looking forward to a fantastic performance by Europe in the Ryder Cup.
Yeah. Actually, just as a side note, that if anybody bet on BetPack.com, we refunded all the stakes on BetPack or on Bubba Watson on the win part. So if you're looking to get on BetPack.com, you would have rewarded by that. Just one quick mention of the Ryder Cup, and looking into it, Tiger Woods looks like he's going to need a Corey Pavin wildcard pick, and I think the European Cup team is looking pretty much the same as well. It's going to need a lot of World Cup or wildcard picks from Colin Montgomery, with Harrington, I think Casey and Justin Rose all needing picks as well.
Of course, yeah.
What do you think about that? You reckon Woods is worth a pick at this stage, or you reckon
he's kind of shown after that disaster round that he is able to bounce back and he is able to pick it back up. Yeah. So, like, you can never rule Tiger Woods out. Like, we've all only looked at him in a negative light over the last 6 months, but you've got to look at the man in his whole career. Like, I don't think you can ever rule out Tiger Woods. I don't know what your view is on that, Jimmy. Do you think he can make the American team?
I think if he wasn't there, it'd be a huge gap in the American team. He's obviously not playing anywhere near his game at the moment, so I think it's a bit of a quandary, but on balance he probably will have to go, because if he doesn't go, he will be as much of a distraction as if he was there. So in my book, he'll have to go purely because the team needs him, and to avoid him being a distraction if he's on the other side of the Atlantic.
Yeah, well, of course we've got all the full Ryder Cup coverage on BetPack.com as well, so be sure to check that out. Moving on, big weekend in GA this weekend. It's pretty much time for the Dubs to really show that they can get past the semi-final for the first time in 15 years. They're playing Cork. I think the Cork were 4-6, Dublin with 13-8, and the draw is 7-1. Michael, who would you fancy that kind of?
Well, I suppose I'd be biased in that one anyway. I'm a Cork man, so I'm afraid if anyone saw me saying otherwise, I'd be shot. But no, I'd fancy Cork anyway, hands down. Everyone is saying Dublin. I don't really think they've come up against enough competition to say that they're going to go the whole way. Yeah. Cork are always a side that have to be watched, especially in football. I know we had a disaster in the hurling, but look, that's against the Kilkenny machine.
Yeah.
This is a different kettle of fish altogether.
You don't think Graham Canty's going to be a big loss for the Cork?
Of course, Graham Canty's a big loss, massive loss, but I still think that we've got depth in the overall squad, and I do think that we've got the players to give Dublin definitely a run for their money. And I mean, at 4-6, it's you know, the value isn't really there, I suppose, but look, I'm going to go with Cork on this one. Your views are obviously going to be a lot different.
Well, Jimmy, what do you reckon? Because obviously Dublin now at this stage are pretty much the bridesmaid of GA. They're probably deserving an All-Ireland final, I think, for all their efforts throughout the years. And Pat Gilroy, after much criticism against Meath on the championship, they got fairly trounced that day. Do you reckon, would you give them a sniff the weekend against Cork at 13-8, or how would you stand in this match?
I think this is going to be a cracker. I think we've got two teams that are really up for it. If you look back over the history of Cork and Dublin since 1974, if they've met in an All-Ireland semi-final, one of the teams has gone on to win it. That's the first thing you need to note. Since 1974, they've met 5 times, and Dublin have won 4 times. And the one time that Cork beat Dublin, they went all the way. That was, I think, in 1989. It's a truly fascinating contest. Cork are a big team, but also they're very, very mobile. And I think it's that mobility coupled with their size is going to be the determining factor on the day. They also beat Dublin fairly comprehensively in the league last March. Now I know Dublin have revamped their team since then and have brought in Owen O'Gara, and he's been a huge boost to them. But I still think on the balance of the day, Cork will shade it, but it's going to be an absolute cracker of a game.
Very good. Okay, we'll finally quickly roll on to our last bit of topic for discussion this weekend is the soccer. The Premiership started last weekend. It was quite a good start for both the main protagonists. Chelsea won 6-0 against West Brom, blew away them. Man United were pretty impressive again last night.
Good.
I think the big kick-off on Sunday, the 4 o'clock kick-off, was Fulham against United. Fulham, obviously, they've both been rocking there recently with Roy Hodgson goal, Mark Schwarzer. There's rumours of him going to Arsenal.
Regardless, behind the scenes though, Craven Cottage is always going to be a tough place for any team to go, and even Paul Scholes said it last night in the interview that they're going to have to go there and they're going to play their heart out, and if they can get a similar result to the 3-0 win over Newcastle, well then I think they're really in pole position to walk away with this year. Chelsea, the giants that they are, I think there was 27 goals scored over the weekend. Blackpool had 4 of them and Chelsea had 6, so it gives you a good indication as to where things stand. But I don't know, I'd have to say United on this one without a doubt. I know that they're 8-13, but you can't see any other, especially with all the turmoil at Craven Cottage and what's going on with managers and Mark Hughes, and my money would be on United.
Well, of course, and if United 8-13 is too short of a price, you can always check out the handicap betting on BetPack.com as well. All the betting opportunities are covered there. Just quickly, Monday Night Football is back on again now. We've seen obviously again last night United against Newcastle. Manchester City are playing against Liverpool as well this Monday Night Football. Another big clash, and it's a tough start for the Premiership season for Liverpool. Having played Arsenal, they're opening now away to City. How do you reckon that's going? Were you impressed with Liverpool the weekend?
I was impressed with Liverpool at the weekend. Now, regardless of the goal, Pepe Reina was probably the best player in the squad of last season. You don't keep that many clean sheets without a player like Pepe Reina. But I'd say Man City weren't very convincing at the weekend. I wasn't convinced by them. They were playing Tottenham. Tottenham are a good side, but they're not a top 4 material in my own opinion. So on this one I'm going to go with Liverpool. We're without Joe Cole, but the money's for me on Liverpool.
I sided you there as well. I think Liverpool at 21-10 are a good price, and I think I was pretty impressed with David Gog as well. He's looked like he could be a good partner for Torres, or even if he had to step in for Torres, he's a good striker as well there himself. Just a quick reminder that all the 0-0 matches last weekend are refunded BetPack, and they will be throughout the season. So just in case there's a 0-0 boring match there, you will be compensated by some fact that we're going to give our money back on that. So anyway, guys, thanks for joining us here in the blog today, and be sure to catch up with BetPack.com at the weekend.